welcome back to Cinema Vino. It's the final chapter of our Beatles series with the documentary Let It Be.
The final chapter.
We got Sean Jordan.
Takes us over to Europe.
And T-Bud. And my name's Todd Walvern. And so, yeah, we're looking at the documentary Let It Be. We're going to drink a little Bordeaux. Apparently, Paul McCartney is a big Bordeaux fan. He's a big Bordeaux drinker. He's going to drink the high-end, first-growth, vintage Bordeaux. We're going to go for a little more of a budget mind because, you know, we're all on a budget here.
Why is first growth more expensive?
I mean, it's going to be the first, like, harvesting of a grape. It's going to be the best of a particular vintage. You kind of get a front row seat to that vintage whenever you try it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really should have kept that beard, Paul McCartney.
You think so?
He had a good-looking beard in this movie. Yeah.
He has a good beard.
Yeah.
He had good hair in general.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Ferguson on his talk show always used to have a joke that he was like, oh, yeah, here's my picture of Paul McCartney. And it was Angela Lansbury. I was like, yeah, he should have kept that beard.
Yeah, he should have concurred. This is the Chateau Pays-Latour Bordeaux. For those of you out there who are relatively new, Bordeaux is a region of France. They grow red and white grapes there.
We got both kinds.
Yeah, we got both kinds. This is, it's primarily Cabernet, Merlot, Cabernet Franc. But you will see some Petit Verdot and Malbec also thrown in to some bottles. Those 5 grapes are the only grapes that can be in red Bordeaux. But a lot of stuff you'll see is primarily Cab, but other regions within Bordeaux, like Margaux, are going to be mainly Merlot. So you'll see some other areas like Chinon where they're mainly Cabernet Franc. But
I can't keep up with all that.
It's a lot. White Bordeaux is going to be Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, and Muscadel. So it's going to be a dry, chalky, minerally white. So
Spell Semillon.
S-E-M-I. I believe it's S-E-M-I. I-L-L-O-N. When there's an emphasis.
Almost like Tolkien in the Silmarillion.
Yeah, similar.
Semillon.
Semillon.
S-M-S. What? One more time.
S-E-M.
S-E-M.
I-L-I.
I believe there's 2 L's in there.
Okay.
S-E-M-I-L-L-O-N.
Gotcha.
With, I believe, emphasis on the O.
Gotcha.
So
it sounded like Simeon.
Semillon. Yeah.
Semillon. Like the monkey? Like a simian monkey?
That's why I asked for clarification.
Capuchin. So this is the red's going to be big and bold.
I like a Bordeaux. A Bordeaux has a good, like, velvety softness.
Yeah.
It's not sharp. It's really like it
dances on it.
Especially
it does dance.
It's aged the right way. They can be kind of burly, but also, yeah, like you say, like they can have a nice rounded edge to them. So, especially when they add a little Cab Franc or Merlot, they can kind of soften up the Cabernet Sauvignon aspect of them.
Yeah, because a Cab Sab, like just pure Cab, is just like gonna punch you in the mouth.
They can. I mean, it depends on where they're grown. I mean, it's just like California Cabs can be a little more accessible, a little more fruit forward.
Dirty glass?
Yes.
Did you spit in this?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to?
The answer to everything's going to be yes.
Does this look like spit to you?
But, you know, old world wines, they can be a little more bolder, tannic, like what you'd say, hitch in the face, a little more grip to them.
Yeah.
So, and that's definitely going to be what you have here.
I love good grip.
This one, you could age this easily for 5 years, and it'll be better then than it is now.
Maison Boutier au Chateau.
Exactly. Bordeaux, a lot of the big, you know, famous vintage Bordeaux can age for decades. You know, like there's 2000 Bordeaux. 2000 was a banner year for Bordeaux, and those are going to be drinking really well right now. If you have the 2000 Bordeaux or 2003, those years in there were awesome. But you could go back if you've aged it properly, even like the 70s, like a 1970 Bordeaux, that should still be drinking decently. So,
if you had to describe this wine or how it made you feel as like a song, what would it be? Like, to me, this gives Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong.
You know, Officer and Gentleman kind of a vibe.
Can I get a sample of that?
Yeah. I was thinking more, I've had the time of my life, but.
Lift us up where we belong.
Yeah. But
wait, you were saying time of your life?
I've had the time. No, it's like, I had the time of my life.
Is this like when she's lifted?
It's at the end when they're dancing.
Oh.
Yeah. This is when nobody puts a baby in the corner.
Oh, this is during the break where she's just like.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a song this makes you feel?
It doesn't.
Nope. It's like the Barry Gibb show. It's like, hey, Robin, do you have anything you'd like to add? No. No, I don't.
Jesus, take the wheel. You know?
Butterfly kisses. So I don't have specific.
By Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes Britney Spears. Yeah. Not a girl, not yet a woman.
Wait, so why aren't we drinking in 1970 then? This movie came out in 1970.
I need about $5,000 more to make that happen.
I can do such a bottle.
I can borrow that.
Podcast budget not there yet?
Yeah, we're per episode. But I would like to see the podcast that has a $5,000 per episode budget. That's got to be a pretty rare air.
That Call Her Daddy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hawk Tuah girl probably has that budget. We don't have that kind of budget.
Joseph Rogan.
Yeah. Wherever he is in the world, he's getting the ivermectin money.
Getting that horse paste money.
That's some good money there. So a little background. I'm going to wing it a little bit, so you guys at home bear with me here, because I don't have specific notes. Let It Be came out in May of 1970, which now is 55 years ago. This was the fourth feature film the Beatles did to satisfy their initial contract they signed with the United Artists. For a long time, this was a difficult film to find, and specifically because for a long time, Paul, George, and Ringo were not real enthused about ever putting it out anywhere. You had some real poor quality VHS tapes that circulated in the 70s. Every now and then it might show up on TV, but they weren't real fans of the. It didn't have good vibes for them. Didn't have good memories.
It wasn't a good vibes movie.
No, it was not, especially compared to their other films that they did.
Did it get distributed in theaters at all?
In very limited amounts. So
it satisfied their contract, but it was a real slap in the face.
The only reason it was released.
Yeah.
This had a budget of around, everything I've seen says around $250,000. It grossed around $1 million in the theaters. It was not widely released. It did win an Academy Award for Best Original Score, which McCartney showed up and accepted.
Thank you.
This was their most troubled album and the most troubled film they did at the same time. Going into it, they had the idea of filming snippets of rehearsals. They'd bring in a camera crew, film everything, and with the idea being that at the end of it, they would do a full concert of the material that they rehearsed, similar to Elvis's comeback special that he did in '68. You know, which is a big success for him. It showed that he still had some game left as a performer. And so they were hoping for some kind of similar mojo with this, like it showed they still could perform live and do well with it. And unfortunately, like everything else at that time period, they did not agree on anything that they were doing. They fought over everything, and they fought over this a lot. They kind of went into this filming situation without any firm ideas of what they were doing. And it showed. They didn't have not any songs, ready to go or even halfway rehearsed. They had to pretty much make the album from scratch. They didn't have any idea where their venue was going to be, how they were going to do it logistically. And so they argued over all of that. They had ideas of we'll do it on a cruise ship. We'll do it in a Roman amphitheater. We'll do it. We'll just go to a dive bar. It's a surprise gig. We'll just show up and book under a fake name and walk in. Oh, it's the Beatles, and then we'll start doing our songs. But all those ideas got nixed until they eventually hit upon the idea, let's just go to the roof of where we are and play here.
People build it. They will come, Just start playing music. See who shows up.
Yeah. And it echoed in Liverpool when they were starting out, they would do lunch gigs on top of businesses in the business area. And people would go out and eat their lunch or whatever courtyard they'd be playing a gig out there. So it had that memory for them. So why they were more eager to sign off on it. And so.
But it sounded like, this had a little Peter Jackson interview at the beginning where he's talking to the director of this.
Yeah, because it was all remastered.
Because it's all remastered. But Peter Jackson kind of says at one point, or the director talks about how it was supposed to be an amphitheater, and then that's about the point that George left, and to get him back, they were pivoting to, no, let's do this instead and just go out on the roof and play it.
And George didn't really want to do that even.
He didn't want to perform anymore. He just wanted to get away.
That interview at the beginning, they weren't even in the same room. Were they just on the Zoom call from Kiwi Land to the UK?
It might have been COVID era when this got remastered. I think it was 2020.
It's been a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So that might have been a reason they did it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see him kiss.
Now, Keith.
So say we all. And so, they ended up playing their last live performance on the Apple rooftop, which is now a Gap Kids store, in case you're wondering, because we went there.
I was. Did you buy anything?
No, we didn't have kids yet. Otherwise, we probably would have.
No.
Their undies still fit me.
So,
snug.
Yeah. One on each hand.
So basically, like a lot of other productions, this, it had, like the Beatles stuff, it has a great soundtrack, but, light on plot. This is the lightest of all of them on plot.
It doesn't have a plot.
Yeah, there's no narrative flow. It's weird because there's no narrative flow. But it also feels very edited. They cut out a lot of the fights. A lot of the stuff that people would want to see gets edited out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like there's any structure to it at all.
Yeah, I saw Get Back before I ever saw this.
So basically,
I saw this,
same.
and it was like watching the extended Lord of the Rings, and then like going back and watching the theatrical. I was like, this sucks.
It wasn't even like that. It was like going back and watching like just the fight scenes from Lord of the Rings.
It's going back and watching the airplane version of the movie. That's like, oh, this is an hour and a half long.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
So it kind of satisfies nobody at that point.
An airplane? Do they do that?
Oh, some movies for airlines get chopped up horribly, even more than.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, because there's some stuff they can't show on an airplane.
I was watching Dunstan Checks In on an airplane. They cut out the entire sex scene.
Jeez. With the monkey.
Yeah. So that's why the director took the name off of that.
Orangutan.
Yeah.
Orangutan. Orangutan. I'll be honest. I've never seen Dunstan Checks In. There's a monkey, right?
What is happening here?
He checks into a hotel. Yeah. Say orangutan.
Orangutan.
Okay.
So this, what the hell was I even saying? Orangutan?
Why always used to add the tang at the end? But was that the one with the guy from Friends? Joey?
Maybe.
Joey was in another movie.
You're thinking about
a monkey, I think.
I thought you were thinking about the capuchin. The little guy.
No, he was in
Marcel.
He was in a movie with a monkey.
Okay. I think eventually they all were in a movie with the monkey.
Go ahead.
There was a big monkey craze in the 80s and 90s. Anyway, so this film kind of ends up satisfying. What the hell was I talking about?
Jason Alexander's in this.
In
Dunstan Checks In.
Ed TV?
Is Joey from Friends on that?
No.
Before this goes completely off the rails. So,
Mr. Bean's in it.
So this movie kind of ends up satisfying nobody. It's like casual fans will get very bored at the whole like hurry up and wait vibe in the studios. People kind of sit around and smoke cigarettes and just kind of jabber to each other.
Getting shocked by microphones.
Yeah. But then after Get Back came out, like serious diehards will find this very incomplete and chopped up and not worth the time. So this movie is kind of in a no man's land. It's great that they restored it. It's great to see it how it was originally intended to be seen.
My bad. I was thinking of Ed.
It's baseball movie.
Part of the monkey craze.
Yeah.
So, I would give this a 6 just for its music.
Sure.
But otherwise, if you're watching this on Disney Plus, just go watch Get Back.
Yeah, just dedicate 9 hours to just go watch Get Back.
And you really don't have to watch Get Back in one stream. You could really kind of split it up as you see fit. But
yeah.
If you're a true Beatles fan or like a music purist,
even if you're not a Beatles fan, it's a better version of it.
It's more interesting. You really get an insight into how songs evolve from scratch and how, the way bands kind of find that dynamic to work together and bring them to life. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And it functions as kind of a time capsule.
Well, especially for these four that were just such good songwriters and good prolific musicians.
Played off each other so well.
You see, like, there's really good interplay between John and Paul and George chiming in when he feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
Ringo's also there.
Who's the other musician that popped in on their
Billy Preston?
Yes. Okay.
So yeah,
did they introduce him in Let It Be at all?
They really don't. Not like they didn't Get Back.
They Get Back actually like says like, hey, look, it's this guy. He's an American musician.
But may I also say, thank fucking Christ, we didn't have Yoko singing.
Oh, they
like
cut all the Yoko. Because in Get Back, they get the scene of like Yoko screaming into the mic, and you see him on the side, just like,
what the fuck is this? Yeah,
he sounded like Animal from Muppet Babies.
Yeah, she was something else. But she adds to in Get Back. Her presence it adds a lot more context to. Their breakup, but also like there's that vibe of uncomfortable, awkward.
Well, there's also a shot of like Whoops, there goes my heroin out of my pocket. Whoops, didn't mean to pull that out.
Yeah.
That did not make the Let It Be cut.
No.
Definitely made the Get Back cut.
Well, it was like The Last Waltz documentary we watched where they had to airbrush out Neil Young's cocaine out of his nostrils because it was like these big globs of powder. So, yeah, I mean, Let It Be felt very sanitized to me of like, we got to clean this up for the crowd. But Get Back was more unflinching. It showed more of the awkwardness.
You have 50 years of context to put back into it.
Yeah. And it made it feel like this is more historically interesting than probably what it was then. So, for me, I would give this a 6, a very soft 6, especially after like watching, for me as a Beatles fan, Get Back was probably a solid 9. So I'll be curious to hear what you guys think. Travi, we'll start with you.
Actually, I mean, I think it's probably because this is one of my favorite eras of Beatledom and one of my favorite albums. And that I dig all the songs, and I forget the I Me Mine they play in this, and then I Dig a Penny. I can't remember.
Dig a Pony.
Yep. I dig that song, and I always forget that they did that. Like, they have so many good songs that I forget how many other good songs they have. And I Me Mine is one of the perfect examples of like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, why didn't I not think about this every time I think about the Beatles? Because it's one of my favorite songs. But
it's funny because like in Get Back, you can hear John being a dick to George about that song of like, do you understand what we're doing here?
Yeah.
So more context. But
they do seem very
like a heavy
bullish. But I would give this an 8 for me because it doesn't have any coherence or anything, but they're playing all the cool songs that I like. And I'm like, all right, well, it seemed to me the other Beatles songs are an excuse to tell a story around the songs that people just want to hear. And I'm sure they want to hear like the Beatles joking around and doing all their slapstick stuff. But I guess also because I saw the Monkees TV show first. And so when I see all that slapstick humor, I think in my mind, the Monkees for me originated it.
Yeah.
And I saw, several, like 1 or 2 seasons of that. And so the movies to me are just kind of, they're a little bit slow. But this one I dug. So I give this one an 8 out of 10.
Did you watch the Monkees during the day on reruns?
Yes.
I did too. I think we were like American Tail. We were watching the same thing.
Oh, like we were like staring at the same moon at the same time.
I was watching the same reel. I loved the Monkees at that time. I loved slapstick humor. I thought it was hilarious.
And my mom's name was Jean, so she always loved the Cheer Up Sleepy Jean.
Yeah. There you go. So you're an 8. I'm a 6.
5. I give it a 5. There's no cohesive plot. I mean, it's just an hour and a half long music video, basically. And you can tell that it was edited together. Well, now with the context of Get Back, knowing all the footage that there was of everything that happened, you can kind of tell that what got edited together was a attempt to try to make like an hour and a half about the music.
Yeah.
When the actual story of all this footage is really about the breakup of the Beatles.
And it's like the environment of Get Back isn't really argumentative so much as it's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
It's pleasantly dysfunctional.
Yeah. And like in that like intro interview with Peter Jackson, he says at one point that this is like one of the most productive eras of the Beatles. Like, no, it's not. This is not like productive at all. This is one of the least productive environments they've had because they just were not functional, and they lost their manager. Their manager died. And they had a new one, and they were just sort of done with each other, and you see some of that tension kind of boil over a little bit. And it's like you get 2 minutes of just like, oh, there it is. That's the actual plot of this movie. And then it goes away.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the music. And so you can tell this kind of got edited to death, where it's just them trying to tell the story of, oh, look at them coming up with these songs. Look at them performing and kind of fine tuning it. And then here it is. They're on top of a roof. That's not the story. Like, the story is all the stuff that got edited out. And I think it's a good thing we were able to get back 50 years later with the context of what was actually going on. Everybody can actually appreciate, oh, here's what actually happened. Here's the actual drama. That's a more like coherent story. That's a more compelling story. This is just a music video.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half.
I mean, I like the brevity of it because, I miss MTV just playing.
Sure. This is, it's like a behind the music,
but
you know? Yeah.
It's ironic because you're usually a director's cut, extended edition kind of a guy.
Well, I still do prefer Get Back.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe my 8 was a little high because I would give Vic.
I would give.
All right. I'll give that. I'll give it a 7 and I'll give Get Back a 9.
Oh, Get Back is great. I love
it. It needs more than a 1 point bump on it. So.
I don't remember if I gave it a high rating or not back then, but in retrospect, the Get Back was a really good music documentary.
Yeah.
I like to have, if I can, I'm a comic book collector, so I'm a completionist. I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
When they do a translation of comics to movie, I want them to put everything in. But yeah, so I want all the information I can. So Get Back was lovely. If I was a super crazy Beatlehead, it would be just a hot, frothy ejaculate all down my throat.
I would say that
goodness.
I'm sorry.
Like the villagers of Pompeii. Yeah. This was for me what probably Lord of the Rings was for you, where it's I could watch hours more of Get Back and watch them interact and figure out songs and sort out their differences or whatever. I could watch a lot. I could watch another complete documentary of this.
Well, and you just get so much more of the interplay of why George left and what tensions built up and it was all the conflict of why they were going from this location to this location to this location. It's they couldn't land on a spot of where they wanted to rehearse. They gave themselves a month to basically come up with an album and perform.
Even less than that. It was
3 weeks.
Maybe 3 weeks.
But it was awesome. Especially in Get Back where you're hearing them play the fledgling beginnings of a song and you're oh, I know that.
And then just singing nonsense words of just and ba 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 ba.
I love that Peter Jackson was yeah, you get to see them learn these songs and you want to no, that's not the next word here. Let me help you. You're man, you're almost there. You're going to get there.
Well, and even I Me Mine, it kind of comes off as a jab at Paul of, okay, you're being selfish. I'm going to write a song about you being selfish. Here it is. Let's perform it.
Well, and ironically, he went home and from that fight with Paul and wrote the song Wah Wah, which is on his solo album about them fighting and how I've always interpreted as Paul's being a little bitch.
Yeah, because Paul was being a little bitch.
Watching it this time, Paul's biggest problem is that there's not 4 of him. He can't be sitting in every chair.
He wants to be productive. Yeah. He wants to drive toward a goal.
He wants to be a manager.
Yes, he's getting frustrated that not everyone is trying to be as productive as he is.
Because he's an excellent musician, but he's unable to communicate it in such a way. Sometimes he can do it great, but it seems like they have. I kept wanting to get in the middle and look, guys, you're excellent musicians. You suck at talking. Just start playing, and then go. No, I need you to go. Wah 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 wah.
And that's a tricky thing to bring up.
Yes, but somebody needs to tell them. Somebody needs to go put their foot in there.
And you can see when John is a little bit more sober and he's a little bit more coherent. He's a lot more involved. He's a lot more interactive with Paul. And when that dynamic is working, everything runs smooth. George is, chiming in with like great guitar riffs.
Yeah.
Everything is just going. But when John's out of it, which he is for about 2/3 of the time, Paul's just trying to find something to give him traction. He's just sort of turning.
Paul and John are, I think I asked you this maybe during Get Back. Are they just kind of bullies to George? Do they not think that George's songs are good?
There's a cool moment in the anthology that I think describes the relationship between George and John and Paul perfectly, where they're interviewing George about meeting Paul when they were in grade school or whatever. And, he's like, I met Paul and Paul was, a grade above me. He was 9 months older than me. And he's like, right now to this day, he's 9 months older than me. It's like that was his attitude. John and Paul treated him like a little brother. They treated him like a kind of like a JV. It's like, yeah, that's great, but you're still not as good as we are. That was kind of their permanent attitude. They were dismissive towards him.
Nice. Okay.
So they treated him like you would a little brother.
Go play a sitar.
Just run along.
And I think I asked you this too. What are George's main songs or contributions
to the Beatles?
Yeah. What are his, do they let him, all right, each album we're going to give George one, maybe two songs that he writes and that we'll play? Like, is it one of those things, or did he bring stuff in and they were like, okay, this is actually pretty good?
No, he had to fight for every song. And
once they started playing I Me Mine, it seemed like it was great.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, okay.
Well, so even at that point, it's partially drugs, but like John's checked out for George's song. To me, that was always a middle finger that John gave back to George of like he and Yoko slow dance around the studio while George is playing it. It's like he's not involved in the process at all. And so John would always kind of check out during George's songs. And that's kind of like, that was their dynamic was like, that's why George brought in Eric Clapton to play on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, is because he thought the group was so flat. He brought in Eric Clapton to play the solo. So I want somebody that's going to have some life.
So what are his main George's songs?
So his main song, like his first really big hit with him was Taxman. But then from there, I mean, he went through a phase of doing indie music, and then he really kind of blossomed during the White Album of doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. The song, if you like the song Piggies. I mean, there's some underrated songs on there. I just lost the name of it, but I'll get back to it. But like, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Here Comes the Sun, Something. I mean,
Did he do Paperback Writer?
That's Paul.
That's Paul.
But he did I Me Mine, he did For You Blue. He had some great songs.
Yeah. He's a good songwriter. His solo stuff was great.
He had so many songs that they would not put on the albums that he had a triple album. His first solo release was a triple vinyl album. He had 3.
He was just like, here's everything that I've tried to put into different albums that just never made it.
It was like My Sweet Lord, Isn't It a Pity, All Things Must Pass. I mean, he had like just a whole lineup of hit songs that they would never allow, and that he had been demoing those songs. You can go back to 67, 68. He was starting to play those songs. They would not put them on the albums. So,
I mean, why would he have done a full triple album? Like, wouldn't you think that he would want to trickle those out every like 6 months?
It was a different era.
Yeah.
Different era.
And he was so excited to be able to play because he wanted to put these songs on an album for years.
Well, I guess that is like, you do want to put out an album and be like, oh my God, it's the George Harrison, like the Dark Side of the Moon or something, like the one definitive, oh my God, this is great. This whole thing.
Which I think I have that vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was an element for him of fuck you. Here's all the songs you guys turned down in one spot.
I can see how he would be like, this is all the stuff you could have had. I just needed to get that off my plate. It's been meant to coming out for the last like 5-7 years. Now that's out. Now I can focus on new whatever else.
Yeah.
This is who I am and who I was that you guys didn't get to hear. And now you'll hear new stuff going forward. I can see that.
And probably the best, I think, definitely up there with the best Beatles solo albums. It's alongside John's Imagine.
What's the name of that? The triple?
All Things Must Pass.
Okay.
It's a killer album. There's one album of jam of him, and the group that plays on that album is incredible because you've got Clapton on guitar, you got Ringo on the drums, supposedly a young Phil Collins is on the drums for some of those. Klaus Vormann on the bass. I mean, just like, I want to say Leon Russell shows up for some of those. There's an incredible lineup of
Tulsa
musicians.
I'm sure I've asked you this before. Did George Harrison come by Tulsa to hang out with Clapton and Leon Russell? And they played at Colony.
Whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they jammed there a few times.
Nice.
So because Clapton was big into the Tulsa scene, the Tulsa musicians, including
Tulsa Blues,
J.J. Cale, Dickie Sims, all those guys.
Now, what were Ringo's big songs? What were his?
In the group, I mean, he wrote 2 songs. Don't Pass You By for the White Album and Octopus's Garden for Abbey Road. And you can see
Octopus's Garden's fun.
And you his song solo, like his biggest.
He had a couple of decent songs solo, and of course
it was his birthday, like earlier this week.
85.
He wanted everybody in the world to say the words peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Like noon.
But you gotta say it with like a Liverpool. Like,
he also just got a pedicure.
Peace and love. He did. I saw the pedicure.
Got a pedicure, and he's 85 years old.
His sandals said peace and love.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had those.
Love the man. He's very consistent.
You can see George helping him develop Octopus's Garden in this and to Get Back.
Yeah. When are we going to watch Caveman with Ringo?
I'll watch it. I've seen it before.
Now, that would be my favorite Beatles movie.
And I would say that Ringo had the prettiest wife.
Oh, Spy Who Shagged Me.
Barbara Bach, the Bond girl.
Spy Who Loved Me.
Good for him.
It's a good one.
Good for him.
So you're 7.
I mean,
And do as you will.
I'm an 8, but when we mentioned Get Back, I had to bump it down to a 7. So
Yeah, let me bully you down to a 7.
Yeah.
So whatever. 7.5, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.
5. I'll do a 6. So there we are.
All right.
But yeah, it's been another episode of Cinema Vino. We got Chateau Pay Latour, Bordeaux.
Chateau Pay Latour.
Everybody finish your drink.
Exactly. Finishes up our Beatles series. It's been a lot of fun. And now we're going to move on to watch the movie Superman Returns for the upcoming release of James Gunn's reboot of the Superman franchise. So
It was in the wine.
timely. So, Sean Jordan.
Oh,
Hey.
I'm wearing a Superman shirt.
We're not even there yet. We'll get there. I'm wearing a
It said
Beatles shirt.
Superman. I'm just saying.
Superman.
Superman.
Then we got,
Travis Bud.
we've got Travis Budd on bass guitar. And my name's Todd.
Wait, we never even assigned each other the Beatles. Which ones would we be?
I'm not Ringo. Oh, Taylor did want me to pass along about Let It Be. He said, your shoulders have been looking real big and that your good looks have become a problem. That's it.
All right.
There we go. Nothing I didn't know. But yeah, we will see you guys next time. Great movies, only drunker. Great movies, only drunker.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Indeed. So see you guys next time.
Bye.